So good morning. This
Morning,
is
Craig.
um, this is the Friday team call, and it is February 28th. And so we are just the last day of the month, and things are pretty darn exciting. We had a great month, and so we're going to get started with the first segment. We've got a couple of first-time presenters, pretty exciting today. I don't know if I said my name is Craig Blanchette, and I'm a global director, and you guys are all my children and grandchildren. So I'm so happy to meet some of you for the first time. The first section we have up is Sam Preston-Bach and Team Preston-Bach. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do believe they are new integrated regional directors, which is a celebration. So great. And FIBC. But I'm going to have them introduce Terry and the first segment of our TSFLU. So welcome, Sam.
Hey, guys. So I'm so happy to introduce Miss Terry Easdale here. She's just been a superstar on the program, fully integrated client. And in fact, this is our second place female winner for the weight loss portion on the 28-day challenge. So she just totally rocks. And I'm excited to have her share on lesson 13 today. So take it away, Terry.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Terry. I'm new to the program. I started with Sam in January, and I'm happy to say I'm down 25 pounds. I love the program. It's so easy to use. I am actually getting my husband started on it as well, so yay for that. It's just so easy to go out to dinner with my husband or with my kids, and there's just, I really don't even know what to say about it. I'm just absolutely in love with it. I'm at the beauty salon, and I've had 3 people ask me, what am I doing to lose weight? So.
Awesome.
I think am I losing? Okay, wait. I thought I lost connection. Sorry.
Nope. We can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. So what I love about it is just that it's so easy. Like, I have 2 small children, and it's so easy to go out and give them a hamburger, and I look for the healthy options on the menu now. It's just like a natural instinct, not even to order the burger, just look for the fish or the chicken. So it is. It's just such a wonderful program. And I'm so happy that Sam and Harold introduced me to this. Okay, I think I'm fading in and out.
Awesome. Terry, are you ready to talk about lesson 13 a little bit?
Okay. I'm kind of fading in and out, so I hope you can hear me.
We got you. You're doing great.
You might want to move your hand, Terry, away from your whatever it is that you're holding, so that we can see your face fully. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Sam?
Yeah. So you want to share your thoughts on lesson 13?
So basically, it's just, I hate to be put on the spot like this, because I'm like, I don't know what to say other than it's just a complete, I really did. I feel like I should have rehearsed something.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I thought this was just such a great lesson for you to talk about, because one of the things that we worked on in the beginning of your journey, especially going from first try, not as a fully integrated client, and the second try, really diving into the book, one of the things that you and I talked a lot about was sleep. And that you technically got enough sleep, but the relaxation part was a big problem, right? And so
exactly, yeah. For my kids, yeah. Because I'm not much of a reader, so taking the time out to read a book, or just, I'm just a busy mom like a lot of other people, just with the kids. And our downtime has always been just really sitting in front of the TV, hanging out with the family, watching television. And I'm this reality show junkie person, our family does that. So the first time I actually snuck into my bedroom with my books, and I'm doing my readings, and then here comes my son looking for me, and end up spending quality time with my son. And then after that, he leaves, and my daughter comes into the room. So I spent quality time talking to my daughter. So I have now allocated enough time where nobody's allowed in my room or when I'm sitting in my chair reading. So I get at least 30 minutes to myself. So I had to kick them out. But I enjoy my family time, but I also needed my me time.
And did you find that that helped you ensure that you got enough sleep each night as well, changing what you did before bedtime?
Changing your routine, absolutely, absolutely. I get a lot more sleep now. I sleep better, of course. That has all to do with my diet. It's just, a little relaxation, a little downtime, 30 minutes, and I'm good to go. So yeah, I'm getting a good, 9 hours of sleep every night.
Awesome. And how is your sleep quality?
Oh, it's good. I mean, I'm no more getting up in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm telling you, it's my lifetime. I just went to the doctor the other day, so I'm anxious to get my test results back to see how healthy I am.
Awesome.
So, plenty of sleep.
Thank you so much, Terry, for going over lesson 13 with us. It was short and sweet, but so powerful, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. Your hair looks gorgeous too, by the way.
Thanks.
Okay, so up next we have Linda Heldenbrand, the amazing, this woman transforms literally every week, not just physically. I don't know if any of you have seen her new profile picture, it's incredible, but also, internally, this woman just grows so much each week. So handing over the nurse call to Linda, take it away.
Let's see here. Where'd Linda go? I know she was on here. Are you there, Linda?
Unmute, Linda.
Oh, here we go. Let me unmute you. I got you.
I'm fine.
There you go. You're good to go.
This is Nurse Linda with the nurse call today. And the focus on for February, of course, was heart health. But what Marcia was talking about on the 27th was how your brain health affects your heart and everything else. And that the focus was from the Habits of Health book, chapter 25, on brain health, and basically was about relaxation and how that relaxation and how your mental health is going to affect your brain health. There were a few other things that, of course, when clients called in, they brought in some things that we need to be reminded about. Nausea can be remedied with some chicken broth. A lot of times it can be blood pressure problems. It can be, everything equalizing itself out. So remember about the nausea and the chicken broth. Constipation can be remedied with increased water and fiber. And don't forget about your thyroid clients. This is what helped take me to the next level. I suffer from hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid, and I could not take those last few pounds off. I couldn't figure out what it was. And what I did not know was that, first of all, of course, I knew I was supposed to take the medication on an empty stomach, but I didn't know that I wasn't really supposed to eat anything soy for 3 hours following that medication. When I did that, that took me to the next level in my journey. So I am hoping that everyone will take that information and pass that on to their clients. Find out if they have a pre-existing condition and focus in on that as to how you can help them get to the next level with that. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. That was excellent. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I love the fact that you're a nurse and sharing on the nurse's call. Excellent. So we're going to move on to our next segment there, which is Daniela Corelli, and she is going to be covering, her team is covering the Habits of Health call and a webinar for the week. So I want to introduce your guest and then take it over. You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Sandy McClary is going to be leading our Habits of Health call this morning and sharing about that. And Sandy is working towards senior coach, doing a great job. So Sandy, welcome. Are you there, sweetie? I know I saw you. You might need to unmute.
No, there she is. She's unmuted, but we can't hear you. So I'll have, you'll have to click on the screen and click on your audio and see if you can get that worked out. Why don't, while she's working that out, Daniela, you jumped right into the webinar portion.
Sure, be happy to do that. So last week I was going to share the Mark Nelson and JC Dornick review, and that was such a fantastic training that I kind of feel compelled to share that one and then just comment briefly on the one this week. Is that an okay with you, Craig? Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. So JC Dornick really powered off the training by discussing secondhand smoke and secondhand health. And I thought that was a really fantastic way to get things started. And it was interesting because he showed pictures about, how, secondhand smoke is infectious. Well, so is secondhand health. And so he went into discussion about inspiring others to be healthy. And he shared his personal story, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal because I don't know if any of you saw him, but he looked absolutely fantastic on that sharing. And he's looked great before. And like he said, losing weight was getting healthier. But what he realized with the Stop Challenge Choose is that he still wasn't healthy. And so so he kept going, and by him getting on the Stop Challenge and Choose and having his own energy and excitement, it started inspiring others. And so that led into his next topic of motivations, and he shared about the 3 forces of motivation and how they were avoiding pain, seeking pleasure, and inspiration. And he shared about how inspiration transcends the other 2. So when we can inspire each other to make changes or move forward, that's much more powerful. And what he said was, and I'm going to read this, that inspiration knows the costs and challenges as well as rewards and benefits and does it anyway. And I think in terms of that, it really struck me on many levels for our clients, of course, helping to inspire them. But then it's what we do here too with each other. Because we know there's certainly benefits, and then there's work involved too, and we know that, and we choose to keep forward with Dr. Anderson's mission and getting America healthy, and so that's really fantastic. He also shared about not expecting anyone to do anything that you're not going to do, and to pick up your personal game if you really want to inspire other people to go along with you. Shared a little bit on the Stop Challenge Choose, talking about that it's not a diet, not a weight loss challenge, but an opportunity to be great. And I thought that was fantastic. And even though we're coming to the end of, Dr. Anderson's, designated time for Stop Challenge and Choose, it was a great platform for us to get kind of an outline in the beginning and still continue with people in that manner and really making ourselves some awesome and incredible coaches by reaching out to people and pulling them into our culture, not even talking about getting them on program right away, but just pulling them into our culture so that they can get a feeling of what we're about and what healthy is. So
Hey, Daniela, what was the name of the webinar that you were reviewing?
Yeah, it was called Secondhand Health, Inspiring Others by Being Inspirational.
Excellent.
Yeah. And so it was really awesome. I really suggest listening to that one. Mark Nelson also came in on it a bit and talked about how each of us is a dominant force in our life choices. And that we can either move ourselves back or move ourselves forward. So, and then the kind of final thing was asking ourselves, are we the 5-in-1 funnel and just a small part of the success? Or are we just a weight loss coach? or are we really coaching? Because if we're really coaching, we're not reaching out by just sharing a weight loss program. We are really sharing the whole opportunity. So I thought it was really fantastic. JC asked in the end, what do you need to change in your life? Tell everyone about it and do it. And that's the best way to inspire other people. So it was awesome. And then the coach training this week was by Lisa Castro. Really awesome for anybody trying to train senior coaches. Yay, like me. So it was a good show. Lisa's always fantastic. It reminded me very much of what we do with our clients, and it was a good reminder for me personally, because she talked about, basically not overfilling or vomiting on your new, coaches, and taking it one, couple little steps at a time and moving them forward. She went into quite a bit of detail on support for coaches in doing that. So I highly recommend that one if you as a coach are training senior coaches.
Love it.
Yeah. Awesome stuff there, Daniela. So let's circle back to Sandy. Let's try. I'm going to unmute you and let's see if we can hear you this time. There you go. So go ahead and try and talk again, Sandy. Let's see if we got you this time. Yep. No, still no audio. Okay. So we'll have to work that out for next time, unfortunately. I'm going to toss it over to Christy Scroggs for her section. So you're up, Christy. Oh, and let me unmute you because you have a beautiful voice and we couldn't hear it.
Thank you. I was just reaching up here and I went, hey, my microphone just unmuted. Thanks, Craig. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to grow a little bit. We're going to cover the leadership call because somebody already covered the nurse call, so that was good. I would love to introduce Grayson Aragon to you. He's probably one of our younger people here today, which is always fun. I love that we're kind of intergenerational as health coaches. Makes it more like a family, and I really do like that. Grayson has been a client of Craig's since May. And we were talking earlier about this kind of total transformation that he did. And it was kind of weird because I saw him and I went, that kind of looks like Grayson, but that's not Grayson because it happened so fast. And then when I realized it was Grayson, it kind of freaked me out, but it was awesome. So 74 pounds in just a few months. It was crazy. So he became a coach in September. And I would love to have you, Grayson, give us your thoughts on the leadership call this week. Got to unmute.
I can do it for you, or you can do it. I'll get it. I got it. You're on. Yep, you're on.
All right. High five. All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Grayson, for those who don't know me. And I've been a coach since September. I just hit senior coach, so awesome. This week I covered the leadership call, and it was all about sponsoring our coaches and clients, and which I think is just great because it's really all about getting behind all of our coaches and clients and meeting them where they're at to inspire, like Daniela was saying, to inspire and just really move them forward with what they're doing. A great metaphor was used in this call, actually, and it was the captain versus the ship. And for those who haven't heard that, what it was saying is our clients and our coaches that we are mentoring are the captains of what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go. And we are simply the ship. We're just the vessel to get them there. So the way I like to look at it is they're the captain out looking for their sunken treasure or their little plot of gold. And we're simply the ship. We're the tools. We are the just the vessel that gets them there. And so I thought that was really powerful imagery used in this call. There were a lot of great different key points in this. And one thing they touched on numerous times was just having fun. Having fun as a coach and having fun while inspiring other people is so helpful, because if we aren't instilling that that energy and that excitement in other people, then they become fickle and just fall away, and it becomes repetitive and it becomes boring and it becomes all these things that I think people start to resent. So if we find a way to keep it energetic, because I know as coaches, we are all very excited about TSFL. We're excited about this lifestyle that we have, and it's just fantastic. But we can't bring that to, or we can't force that on other people. So we really have to find a way to, it's so important to find their why and find out why they're what kind of makes them tick and what gets their motors running and how to inspire them. That way we can not so much use it as leverage, but in a way, yes, to really get them to where they want to go, because like I just said, they're the captains of their ship and we are the tools. And in a way, kind of the inspiration, because we have to kind of find that in them and pick it out and kind of put in their face and be like, remember, you want this, and this is where you want to be, and this is where you want to go. So I just thought that was super awesome. Yeah, this was a great call. And that was my take on it. So thank you.
Excellent. Hey, good job, Grayson. I love the imagery there of the ship, and I also love the reality of having fun, because a lot of people that get into Take Shape for Life, it seems really fun when you're on your journey, but sometimes you forget that it's also hard. And when we start out as health coaches, it seems really fun, and sometimes we forget the fact that it's actually hard too. And yeah. I like that it's hard, because things that are important are usually hard, and health coaching is really important, and sometimes it's really hard. And so the key to it is don't forget to have fun while it's hard. Yeah. And so that resonates with me a bunch. So
yeah, and thanks, Grayson, too. Just the way that you presented was really good. You were excited about what you were sharing, and that was super important. And also, that word picture, we all need to remember that. We need to remember we're not the boss of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is their journey. This is their thing. I love the picture of us just being the vehicle. We're kind of carrying them along. We're helping them get where they want to go, but they're the captain. So thank you. Good job, Grayson.
Yeah, excellent. So we're going to move in. So thank you for everybody that shared today. If because of technical difficulties, I know that Sandy wasn't able to share. And so we would love to have you back again next week. And we'll do a little tweaking with your technology to make sure that what you've prepared, you can still share on. The Habits of Health call this week is a gem. It was with Lydia Wente, who's one of my favorite people on earth, and it's really a good one. So I recommend that you have a chance to listen to it. And I would love next week to have Sandy back and even present on the Habits of Health call. At this point, we're going to move into the training portion. And so we're really spending a lot of time working on moving coaches to senior coach. And this is one of the things that Dr. A and actually Terry Miller and I did one of the national webinars on it. And we talked about becoming senior coach over and over and over and over again. And if you think about it, when we actually have skill sets to build your coach practice to be senior coach, that's 5 people. And you do that 4 times, and now you're a executive director. And so with that, we're trying to help people to build those skill sets, and the same skill sets that are necessary for building you to a senior coach will build you to that executive director. And so one of the very first things, Alex and I have been talking quite a bit about this, and it's really the perspective of the 2-step process. And so what I've come up with, and you feel free to chime in here, Alex, at some point. The 2-step is something to watch or study, and then something to do, and then reconnect. So it's watch something, do something, and then reconnect to your coach. And so if we can think about that, the 2 steps are those first things, and then you always wrap it up with going back for the next lesson. And so if we can all break the things that we're trying to learn and the things that we're trying to teach other coaches into that, don't give them too much, just give them 2 things. And so oftentimes when a coach is starting out on is let's see here, mute her. A lot of times what we'll have them do is we want them to learn to share their story. And so we'll do something like practice partners and this connections script. If you guys have this close by, I would love you to grab it, because we're gonna walk through a little bit of this in real time and have some people actually share, do a connect with somebody else on this call today. But so the connections process is really it's the background music for what a coach does. Everything that we do in this is building a relationship. All that we do as health coaches is all about building relationship. And so the connections process is a way to make that, to avoid the weirdness that sometimes happens when we're starting to talk about these kinds of things. We all just get weird. And so the background music for what we do is the connections process, and then we weave that into a number of different things. We can weave it into inviting someone to a party. We can weave it into inviting someone to this webinar. We can weave it into inviting somebody to come to a healthy happy hour. There's a number of things that we can do. So if you guys have that, if you don't have it, I want you, we're not going to stop talking about this. This connections process is what I want to infuse everybody with their DNA. One of the things that I did recently when I was doing some practice partner calls is it dawned on me that why am I not using this script in my practice partner calls? And so Erica and I have been doing quite a bit of practice partner calls, and so we've been working this in at the end. And at the end of our practice partner call, we actually ask for an email to follow up with them occasionally on how things are going. And that's right from this script. And so those people that heard the message, that were there to help her with training, heard about what we do, and now she's going to follow up with them over time. And that's going to be a place where she will find people that want to get healthy, and the people that she did the training with may choose to jump in themselves. And so so that's the first step there, is to learn this connection process, and then we get into the 2-step. Well, this can be part of the 2-step, is read the script. So you watch it or you read it, and then you go practice it with somebody, and then you call your coach. Does that make sense? Do you want to speak to that a little bit, Alex? Oh, let me unmute you there. Are you going to get it?
Yep. Absolutely. So I just want to ditto on Craig about how we're not going to stop talking about this, because really that's what we're doing right now, is we're connecting. And sometimes when you look at this dynamic, you have to kind of think, wow, it seems like this seems so big and I could never build that. Well, you have to remember that just a year and a half ago, there was nobody on this meeting. This is like, I know Craig just sits back in the chair, and all this was an idea of saying, what if these great conversations that you and I are having, Craig, and this is Craig and I talking about this because he was on this Zoom thing, and what if we actually included the team on the conversation? And we started doing that, and it started building. Well, the connections process is all about helping people find what they want and why they want it, and then bringing them into a group of people that is also on a mission to get what they want. And you don't have to have it all figured out of all the 100 steps. That's the most important thing. You just have to take the next one. And if you've ever been up a rock wall, and I'll end on this note, if you've ever climbed a rock wall or ever had to scramble up a little bit to get to that, you actually sometimes don't know where the next handhold's going to be until you just raise yourself up a notch. So take that next step, and all of a sudden, the view becomes completely different. And so if you think about the entire mission or the entire journey at one time of all the steps you have to take, that can be overwhelming. So when you're mentoring a client to get them to help them move into FIC because of what they want, as Grayson talked about, and when you're mentoring a coach, or even yourself as a coach moving up, stop thinking about all the steps. What are the next 1, to 2 things that are right in front of me that I can do to move myself forward.
And Alex used the term FIC. That stands for fully integrated client. Exactly. Thanks, Daniela. Yeah. And all of us we are all clients first and coaches second. And so making sure that we're integrated as clients first, fully integrated. So I would like to see by a show of hands who would like to play the connections game today. Daniela, lovely. And who else? Come on, jump in.
Pat, do you want to play?
If you blink your eyes or smile at me, I'm just assuming you want to play. So what I'd like to do is we're going to start with a abbreviated version of your story, and then that's going to be a little bit of before, how you felt, and then how you're feeling now, and then segue into just reading off this script here. Literally, you can sit there right now and you can just read this. That's totally appropriate. If you don't have it in front of you, then that will be a challenge, of course.
And again, Craig, remind everybody where they can get this if you didn't already say that.
Yeah, I didn't. If you go to the Optimal Health Coach page, which is a Facebook page that everybody should be part of that if you're a coach and on this call, under the files section, there's, so you go Optimal Health Coach, click on files, and you'll see some different things in there. And one of those says the connections process. And so, all right, so let's make a connections process. And Daniela, you can, why don't you work with Stan? Yeah, so Stan and Daniela, you guys, so one of you guys can be the person being spoken to, and the other one's the coach trying to get the word out. And so,
I'll be the guinea pig. You can be the coach, Daniel.
Okay. Okay, Danielle, let me unmute you. There you go. You're good to go. Now we're fighting. I'll let you do it. You're on.
Okay, there we go. I think I got it. All right, just so you know, I don't have the script in front of me. Is it okay? I use it, but
Yeah.
okay. So
well, if you want to be on the other end, because he has it, I'd like it. Actually, what I'd really like to have this is actually read through it directly. So since Stan has it, we're going to swap roles, and you and Daniela, you can be the person that he's going to collect some yeses with. So Stan, go for it.
Okay. Hi, Daniela. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Stan, how's your day going?
Great. I just can't tell you how excited I am about this program, that I found this amazing program and this amazing health coach. A year ago, I weighed like 55 pounds more than I did today, and I just found out I got my life insurance results back, and after I did this medical exam, they say I'm now in the healthiest 3% in the whole country, and I just can't stop talking about this. But because before that, you know, I was working a 60-hour-a-week job. I was run down. I wasn't exercising. Here in Bend, we have 23 microbreweries now, and I was, you know, partaking a little bit too much of that. And so, but anyway, you know, now I'm at the point where I'm really passionate about this program, and my coach actually recruited me to become a coach. And so, you know, I was wondering, may I send you some information about the Optimal Health program?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay, so I just need to get your email address, and then while you're looking at it, if anyone comes to mind who you know wants to lose some weight, maybe get off medications, feel great, feel better, would you be willing to forward that to them as well? Because you know a lot of people that I don't know, and if this is something that you think might interest them, would you be willing to send that forwarded as well?
Yeah, sure, I could do that for you.
Okay, and then would it be okay if I updated you occasionally on how things are going with the program?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, and then hey, are you on Facebook?
I'm on video and we're recording. Right?
I am
okay.
on Facebook.
Could we connect there as well?
Sure.
That's all I needed from you.
Now my computer just froze.
How your health got crazy. Oh, somebody's got their feedback going. Is that you, Craig? I don't know who it is, but if we could mute all except for me. All right, we're good. All right. So as you started talking about your story, it got passionate. You connected me as you talked about how you were at this highest area. You might have wanted to say, you said the part about being out of condition, kind of letting yourself go second versus it being your current reality and then sharing what had happened. But ultimately that whole part of that, you had me really engaged. Where it fell off was when you clearly went back into reading the script. And that's because you were focused on the script and your energy started dropping. So when you asked the question, would you be okay if I sent you more information? Your energy dropped about 5 seconds before that into this kind of like monotone.
Yeah.
And then you were like, so would you be, then you also used the words, my health coach recruited me. That took my mind off of what you were talking about before. And all of a sudden, I don't want to be recruited or anything like that, or in part of one of those things that you recruit people and try and get people. So that threw my brain off. Your tone dropped. And then what happened was you then said, so would you be okay if I sent you some information? It was like almost like you questioned yourself in it. And then Daniela's energy then reflected yours entirely. She was like, yeah, sure. Like, but if you would have asked that question with the same energy you shared your story with and just said, I'm totally excited about this. And at this point, I'm just trying to get the word out about what I'm doing. Hey, would you be okay? No, watch that tone change. This is important. Hey, would you be okay if I sent you something about what I've been doing? You see how I up note there?
Yeah.
And I get it. You're reading. Okay. So you don't know the content yet, but that's why we want to do this over and over. Anybody else? So does that help?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just stay fired up and excited and don't.
That's right.
Practice this script. I mean, I had, I think I was talking with Dan. I'm not sure. I was talking with somebody recently and I just said, take this script and if you have a Mac, you can pull up a little program called Photo Booth or the iMovie, or you can use your iPhone and just record yourself, maybe talking to yourself in the mirror. Literally, I mean, I really mean it when I say that. I'm actually meaning actually do it. And you can record on video or you can record on audio. And what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to read this exactly word for word. Don't. Kim Fisk has developed this, and she says if you get a no, it's because you didn't read the words. It's proven to get a yes. It's just what happens. And
I just want to jump in on what you're saying, Craig, before you go. If you get a no, it's because you didn't read the words, and it's because you didn't use your energy, your voice inflections, and share your passion and energy. Because if you read the words and you go down in tone, that speaks 70% of the message to people, right?
So let me do this with you, Alex. We're just going to do it, or I'll do it with somebody else here. I'm going to pick Kimberly. And then you can just I'm going to collect some yeses from you right now, Kimberly. And so hey, Kimberly, it's so awesome to see you again. You know, I was thinking about while I was watching you do whatever you were just doing, I was thinking about how I used to struggle with that too. And actually, I wanted to share with you a little bit about my story. You have a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, about 3 years ago, I was overweight. And I know you look at me now and you see me as being this athlete guy, but I was actually 50 pounds overweight and I was having a hard time fitting in my wheelchair, right? And that was kind of embarrassing. And I just didn't see the person that I wanted to see. And fast forward to today, I'm back to racing. I'm feeling awesome again. I'm actually training for a big race here and coming up in May. And I just have a zeal for life now again, that I like the body that I'm living in. And so here's what I'm wondering. As you know some people that I don't know, and so may I send you some information about what I do?
Yeah, it sounds kind of interesting, man. It sounds like you've had a life change.
I did. And while you're looking at it, if anyone comes to mind who maybe has a similar story to mine, maybe they've gained some weight and they don't feel very good, or they, when they look at the body that they're living in, it's not the right shape. You know what I mean? And so while you're looking at the information, if anyone comes to mind, would you be willing to just forward my information over to them?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can think of myself right off the bat.
Oh, well, fabulous. Well, that's excellent. Another thing too, so what I'll do then is I update people occasionally on how things are going. And so would that be fine if I updated you occasionally?
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
Excellent. So, and the last thing is, are you on Facebook?
I am, yeah.
Well, we should connect there too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So great, thanks. That's all I needed. So what's the best email for you? Blah, 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 email. Great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with you with a little bit of information, because it sounded like you were interested and maybe this might be a good fit. And, I can't guarantee it, but there's probably a good chance that I can help you experience what I've experienced. And then in the process, I'm sure you're going to come across some people that would be interested as well. So look for my email, and it was exciting talking with you today.
Look forward to connecting.
Yeah. And so she went right into the interested script. And if you look on the back page, there's this thing called interested script, because she didn't feel like I was trying to get her. I just wanted to share my story and have her know it, so that if she came across somebody that was interested, she could share it with them. Well, oftentimes when you talk about people that someone know, first person they know is themselves. And so they internalize it and go, well, this could be I don't know about my friend Sally, but what about me, right? And so you get both of them in the process, and that's some of the psychology behind this script. And then, the interested script, depending on where we're at, I could have jumped right into the interested script if it was appropriate. So I'm going to need to know it. And I could have, so let's say we did that. Let's say we jumped right into the interested script because it was appropriate time. Maybe we were actually having coffee and we planned on spending 20, 30 minutes together. So I could say, hey, before I get into telling you the details of the program, it would help me if I knew what your health goals are. And so if you had a magic wand, and you could kind of have any kind of healthy, what would you like the number on the scale to be, for example?
Oh man. I'd like to become healthier, fitter. I'd like to lose about 25 pounds.
Okay. All right. So being fitter, healthier, and about 25 pounds down. Great. So based upon that, how would you want to feel?
Well, if I was 25 pounds lighter, man, I could run faster, which is something that, I enjoy running. So if I was faster, it'd even be more funner.
Yeah. Now, did you know that every 10 pounds of weight that you lose actually changes the pressure in your legs by 40 pounds?
Wow.
So 1 pound is 4
That's pounds. Huge.
Yeah. So 20 pounds, that's like 80 pounds of pressure. I would imagine running would be a whole different experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're not going to go into too much more of this, but you can see how I'm listening to her and I'm interacting with her, and I'm bringing up a few little health tips that, because I've been coaching for 4 years, I know these and I have these in my tool belt. Now you all have the 1-to-4 ratio when you lose weight for running. You guys all have that in your tool belt now too. And so you kind of work through it, and then you're doing this thing called dream weaving, where you're having them think about what it would be like if. And so that's if they're interested. Now, if they weren't interested, or you're just a 5-minute, literally, I was at the bank yesterday, okay? And the lady said, "How are you doing, Craig?" And they're always so personable. They know my name. And And so I said, I'm doing fine. I said, she goes, well, what's new? And I said, well, we just bought a home. And she said, oh, where at? And I said, it's a little south of here. So I probably won't be going to your branch anymore. And I said, it's kind of bums me out because you guys are awesome. She goes, I know, we're the best. And I said, so we're probably going to go to this other branch. So I didn't know I'm about to get an email. I didn't know this. I'm just talking about what's going on. And she says, oh, wow. And I said, yeah. So I work from home. And so I added that little thing in there. I work from home. And so it's going to be nice I have my own home office and that. And she goes, what do you do? While she's processing my thing. And I said, well, I'm an optimal health coach. And I said, kind of what that means is I help people learn how to be healthy, but more importantly, stay healthy. And she goes, wow, I just started juicing. And she starts going on about juicing. And I let her go on while she's processing my thing. And she says, but the reality is that I can probably juice for a little while, but it doesn't seem like a long-term solution. I've got bigger things I want to do. And I said, well, I don't know. I'd love to send you some information. And I just jumped right into the interested script. Or the thing. And I said, well, I'd love to send you some information. I have a little health assessment. You can get a little bit more familiar with what I do. And I don't know, maybe I can help you figure that out. Why don't you write your email down and put it on a paper? And she did. And so I sent her the email. Now I'm going to follow up. And it's just happened. I'm not going out just to try to get leads. I was going out to get money at the bank. Right. But this person, her name's Kathy, she's been on my list of people that I think are awesome for a while because how she treats me at the bank. And 6 months later, I finally get her email. So anyway, let's open this up for discussion. Did you see the energy that I had with this script? I believe this works. It connects. It's simple. And I was reading. I didn't make this up. You don't have to make this stuff up. Actually, if you make it up, you're probably going to mess it up. So just do it. Right? So who has some comments or questions about this? You're going to have to unmute your mic if you have a question.
Hey, Craig, I have one. It's Betsy.
Yeah. Hi, Betsy.
I kind of liked the fact of you showing a little bit of restraint when you were sharing, and she said, oh, well, yeah, that sounds like interesting for me. And you graciously continued on the path of not wanting to, quote unquote, get her. That wasn't your point in talking to her. But you had the maturity to continue past the conversation, but still kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And I think us newer coaches, we're so excited for somebody to give us a door that it cracks open and we barge through it. Mm-hmm. And you didn't. And I think that was a really good example for us. I'm going to rewatch that again myself to kind of see how you didn't discount what she said, but you still kept the energy going forward. I don't know if anybody else picked that up, but I did.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? Grayson, did you have something? I can unmute you. Yes. Okay. There you go. You're on.
Well, just to thank you, Betsy, for that. That was awesome. Because I didn't catch that, how you did restrain from just blasting through the door. Because I know as a coach who's very young in his business, I go out looking for specific people. And one thing actually that I didn't mention about the leadership call is we should ask ourselves, who are we spending our time on and with? If we're spending time with people who are kind of talking the talk but not walking the walk, we should move past those people, and in time they'll be ready. Just like Craig, you were saying, this took 6 months. This lead took 6 months to even get an email. And so finding these people who are just really ready to go is something I think that younger coaches look for. But I think it's important for us to plant those seeds and just let them do what they do. So that was awesome. It was really cool to see. I mean, you've been talking about the connections process since I became a coach, and so it's been a long time. So actually to see it in action is something incredibly valuable to me and to all the coaches.
This is the ticket to a sustainable business, because what's going to happen is the goal. First of all, you're off the hook. You're not trying to get anybody. All you're trying to do is make a connection and follow up with some information over time. Because I know I wasn't ready the first time I heard about this, or the second time, or the third time. Actually, I was not ready ever until my wife said yes, and I still wasn't ready. And she started losing weight. And I went, what's my deal? I want what she has. And then I became ready, right?
You got connected.
I got connected.
You know, what was interesting about that script, and it kind of goes with the leadership call that, actually, hold on, I need to work on my energy. Just a minute. What's interesting about the script and what Grayson did on the leadership call, there is one of the callers on there was from Southern California, and what stood out to me on that was he said, say less to more people. So the script is designed to say less and be effective, but just do it to more people.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. That's an excellent review. Hey, we're at the top of the hour, and so I wanted to thank you for joining. This is the sort of the transition where the first hour of training is over with. We move into the third segment, and we can actually talk more about the connections script or connections process. But I also want to say that for those of you that have individual questions, the third segment is kind of quiz the coach section. And so we've got some pro coaches, more and more and more, coming online all the time. You know, Nicole's got some great things to share. Alex always has some great things to share. Christy, myself. And so what this third section really is for you to come bring your questions. And I know Betsy and I talk about this a lot. She's like, you know, what about this? And what about that? And so I think this third section could be really practical. And I want to let you know for the future to bring those hard, tough questions that you're stuck on, and let's dialogue through them and actually talk about some real practical things. So that's what the third segment is for. And by all means, we can continue talking about the connections process if you have questions about that. So thank those of you who were here for the first hour, and you're welcome to stay.
Is Grayson still here?
He is.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. First of all, thank you. I'm actually a new coach as well, and I kind of fell in the same boat as you. You know, I'm kind of always looking for people who I think are ready to go, instead of just talking to everybody. And this is the first time that I've actually seen this script live. You know, we've talked about it and touched on it, but this is the first time I've actually really, I guess, wrapped my mind around it. So this has really been probably the most informative, best call that I've been on so far. So thank you for that, Craig. You have just opened my mind to a totally different way of approaching this whole thing. And I'm gonna go grab my tracker. And
those are goosebumps. If you can't see them, those are goosebumps.
I watched the video on the tracker thing. You know, where I forget what it's called, but status tracker or something.
My success tracker.
Yes, thank you. I watched that this morning actually, and I printed it out in my truck and I started filling it out. And now that I watched this, I'm going to totally change my goals for March, because I think I can. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly. So thank you. And I'm going to totally, like I said, change my tracker, because I think I can push it up a little more.
Yeah. So. And the thing about the tracker too, one thing I like about that is some people get stressed out when they think about actually enrolling clients. And so I've modified that tracker and I've set it up to connections, right? Because if I talk to 20 people, think about it. You share this story, you connect with 20 people and you share what we're doing. One of them's going to be like, are you kidding? You're exactly what I need. I mean, people are dying for the answer to the secret we kind of are afraid to share. You know, we're a little reluctant to share. We got the goods, guys. We have hope. We have results. We have, think about your own story and then get excited about it and go share it. Because, man, people are waiting to hear
it. And question, the email that when you're talking to these people, the email that you send them when they do say yes, is that something that can be found in your get response information? Like, is that all set up for you?
It's not in the get response because it's a little more involved to send it through get response to one person. So I just have a template, but I'll tell you the contents of the template. There's a little, paragraph, 3 sentences. Thanks so much for talking with me today. And then I really enjoyed talking with you about, and make it personal, right? And then you say, here's the 3 components of our program. We've got a healthy eating plan. We've got an education plan to establish long-term habits, and everybody gets free support. So that's it. It's 3 bullet points. And then I have my link to my non-branded, so it's whatever your coach name is, .ichooseoptimalhealth.com. And you can use a URL shortener to make it smaller. And you put that little link in there so they can click on that and they can find some more info. And then I have the health assessment. Oh, by the way, hey, you're probably curious about what your health really is. This is a free health assessment that you can take, and you can send me your results to see how you did. And then I have, so it's the components of the program, it's the health assessment, and then I throw in a little video called Wild Canyon Games. If you search on Vimeo for JENN or Wild Canyon Games, you will find the video from Jen Bonner, and it's and I like it. It's got a good message. And so those are the 3 components, and that's it. And then I set myself a reminder for 24 hours to follow up and say, how did you score? I'm really interested. How'd you score? And if they haven't taken it yet, then I will say, on the phone, I'll say, man, I remember when I first took it, man, I was like a 12, and then after I started working on this program and my number kept going up, and I thought, man, I'm getting healthier. So create some curiosity about what their first number might be. So if they haven't taken it, that's how I create some curiosity to get them to take it. Then I follow up a couple times, and then on the connection script, there's this thing called off the hook. And if they haven't responded to your emails or your phone calls 2 or 3 times, you let them off the hook, and then you just put them in your drip system and you drip on them. So it's all in here. This piece of paper is like the answer to
everything
sustainable health coach practice, because here's the deal. You're going to connect with people. Some will say yes now, some will say yes later. And you drip on them, drip on them, drip on them. And you keep putting people, you keep collecting yeses, you keep putting them in your system. And then pretty soon you're going to have a couple hundred people in there, and people are going to pop when they're ready. It's like popcorn. You're just waiting for which ones to pop. And you just keep putting popcorn in there and keep the height on. And they're going to be popping all over the place. And so this is going to be a lot better than a business where you're really excited and you go talk to your family and they all get healthy and you got no skills. That's it. You just exploited all of your warm market and you got nobody popping into there. This connections process allows you to be sustainable long term.
Hey, Craig, the wording that is striking me the most, that would it be okay if I updated you occasionally on how things are going? That it's the simplicity of it. I had some popcorn pop yesterday from a gal from 2 months ago, and she finally signed up, and it was because I kept,
you don't want to put you on my email newsletter. Don't.
Yeah.
That is taboo. That's like cancer.
Yeah. And well, the difference is, can I do something to you, versus would it be okay if I kept in touch with you? Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Right.
But yeah, getting spam from you all the time, no, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah. Well, in that connections email, what are you going to send them? You're going to send them a before and after picture of hope with a little story in your info. That's it. Simple. And when they see your email coming in twice a month, they want to open it because they can't wait to see that picture of somebody of that hope, that picture of hope. The gawk factor is huge. They want to look at your email because it's not 400 paragraphs.
Yeah. I want to parallel what you're saying, Craig, because if you carry this over to the proper way to relate on Facebook, it's the same basic thing. You basically want to drip on people, but what you don't want to do is say, hey, anybody want to get started on a health program? private message me, you know, that is like, again, the same thing. If every time you're putting up a photo of somebody, you're saying, hey, who wants to get started? Everybody's just going to tune you out. Every time they see a photo pop up, they think, oh, look the other way. And you will not even know that you're just losing friends that are blocking you. They're not even seeing you anymore. However, if you put on there, hey, congrats to my buddy Mike in Louisiana. Phenomenal, man. Look at you from last Mardi Gras to this Mardi Gras. Right on, bro. You know, just something like that. And then you leave it alone. You'll see likes and blah, 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 you know, moving up. And then you can follow up the likes with the connections process. You know what I mean? You don't have to go for the heavy hit on Facebook. And as a matter of fact, if you do, you're pretty much turning people off.
Yeah. And remember, a like is, what do we do with a like? A like is someone that said, that was interesting, and clicked, they responded with their like saying, I liked it. So some people disregard the likes and they only follow up with the comments.
That's right.
A like is a comment.
As soon as I see a like, I go look at that person's page. I see what else is going on their page. And then what I do is I like something on their page. If there's somebody I want to interact with, I put them on my list to share list. I don't attack them like, you know, Craig talked about. I just say, hey, how's it going? It's good to hear from you. I'm glad you like my page. And then I forget it. But I've got them in my funnel now to where I can keep dripping over the time. And one thing that I heard the other day, and I know I don't want to digress because this would be a whole side section here, is instead of making a bunch of posts on your own page, post something positive about the person that you like on their page. You know? So that's huge. People really don't care about your page as much as they care about what? Their page.
Yep, exactly.
And then you get all their friends liking that post too. Like I told my friend Amy the other day something about her family, and boom, all her friends blew it up, and now I'm interacting with her friends. Not because I want to get any of them. I'm just looking to make connections.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's a great transition. I see a lot of nodding, and I love it because you're getting it. And if you guys get it, it unlocks the path to not be weird anymore and not to feel that weird pressure and that funky, let's just put that over there in the corner and not mess with that. And let's just make relationships with people and make this fun again.
Craig, I have to edify a point that you said. And edify means to build up. I have to build up a point. You said about this connections process of us to practice this and record it. You challenged me with that when we first had this. We both practiced it. I went and did this thing over and over again on a microphone, and to the point where I got bored with saying it. But that was awesome because as soon as I got bored with it, I had it. I was like, I'm bored. Like this is, and all of a sudden I could start being funny with it. I could start talking about it. And then my next conversation I had with somebody, I was like, I hit a smack home run. Not that I got a client, but I nailed this. All yeses. You know, it was just because I was so connected to it because I knew the content. I could then be Alex in the conversation. You know what I mean? I could be me because it wasn't scary anymore.
Exactly.
So let's do it. I want to challenge everybody to commit to reading the script over and over. Will you guys do that? Will you do that? Just work on this. And then the other thing, Craig, I got to say, this is an apology from myself, and I think it's an apology from Craig. We're sorry we didn't do this for you guys last year. Okay? I'm serious because we knew about this last year, didn't we, Craig? Yeah. So we had to overcome our own selves and get out of the way. And we had to have enough success with this. And now when Mark says, hey, I'm just now really finding out about this, and Grayson talking about, you've been talking to me about this for a long time, but we hadn't practically done it. And that's what we're doing now. So
excellent. Awesome. So Betsy, I know you have a couple of questions, quiz the coach, health coach questions. And so I'd love to hear those.
Which one were you talking about?
Oh, I know we talked about a number, so you name it with whatever's on your mind.
Where do we start? I think one that maybe all of us new health coaches or more experienced health coaches is, we're coaching people, we're working with them, and they literally drop off the face of the earth. They won't return your phone calls. They're not calling you. You leave happy messages, you leave, I don't leave threatening messages, but I've even gotten to the point of, hey, I can't read your mind. Can you at least pick up the phone and give me an idea of what's going on or what your current thought process is? I was given the words from another coach that said, I'm really your health coach until you fire me. So am I fired or what? And how we can't get them to respond, but does anybody have some great ideas on how to help people? Usually my experience, because I'll see them on the street or I'll get word of a word, they've felt like they've failed or they've slid off the program and they're afraid to reconnect. So I need some help with that because I have a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
Great. Yeah. And what this has done for me at the beginning is it's helped me build what I call emotional intelligence. And I took it personal when they weren't connecting with me, and it was really hard to not do that. Like, they didn't answer my call and I had a bad day, and as I continued to coach and continued to press forward, because I knew this was something I wanted, I couldn't not coach, right? That's what this has become that way for me. I coach because I can't not do it, right? And so I knew that I was going to keep coaching. I knew I was going to keep working on it. And so what ended up happening was I waited and I continued to leave a voicemail. So much that I thought that I was being like, I don't know. I thought it was like, come on, they just don't like me. And each week when we had our appointment time, I would call and say, hey, I hope you're doing well. Just thinking about you. And I know this is an up and down journey. And sometimes I would leave one of those. I know this is an up and down journey. I just want to let you know I'm rooting for you. Or sometimes I would say, you haven't heard from me. I didn't hear from you last week, and I don't know, maybe you went on vacation or something, but I would always just leave them a word of encouragement that I was rooting for them. And one thing that we may not take time to think about is that we're pretty much 95% of the people we work with as clients are unhealthy. And it's not just in their bodies. It's in their relationships. It's in their planning for their day. It's in their lives. It's across all of their life. And so they've never known what it's like so they get isolated. They've never known what it's like to have a life coach, really, a cheerleader, someone that's just there that cares about them. They don't know what that's like. And so it's weird at first. And so I've had this happen many, many times. Some people fall away, but some people will call back and they'll say, I was going through a really hard time. My dad died and I just went off the radar and I just waited. I couldn't, it gets me emotional. I couldn't answer your call, but I couldn't wait to listen to the voicemail. And you were the one person that I could just count on that would give me a little pick-me-up each week. And so I've heard that message enough times to know that I just do what I do, and I'm working with people that are unhealthy. And if I can leave if I can not take it personal, and I can just leave them a message of hope without any strings attached, that maybe I'm the only voice in their life that is encouraging them. I hope I'm not, but I might be. And so that's happened enough times that I don't give up. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens enough times that I continue to just call and say, man, I loved hearing your voice, even if it was just on the voicemail. And I hope you're having an awesome day, and just a little something. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see how you're doing. And then eventually I might even say something like, it feels like I just feel so disconnected from you, and I'm maybe you changed your plan or your goals. And so I'm kind of left out here. I'm not sure how to coach you. So I'd love to either get just maybe a text message or an email from you. Just let me know where you're at and if I can help you. But I don't leave that particular message very often. So I don't know. So I hope that helps. It's tough because we're working with people that are unhealthy, and it's a process. We've got to work through some stuff. I just actually connected, oddly enough, with one of your coaches who's been a little distant. And I was able to call her, and I talked to her, and she said she's been working 60 hours a week, and her life is crazy, and she's not sure which way's up, right? And so people go through these seasons, and 9 times out of 10, they've had a life event that took them out, and they didn't have any way.
But isn't it strange that they can't connect that with us?
No, it is. They don't know what it's like to have a coach. Nobody knows. They don't understand that we're their ally. And that's part of how we coach too, is we learn to be autonomy supportive, and we really learn to come alongside. And that's a skill set that you develop. You do not start that way. Most of us start by telling people what to do and putting them on a diet. I'm a offender. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And it's taking time to learn.
I wonder if a reason why they would neglect to communicate with us those hardships is because they see us as a kind of a boss, like down on them, rather than an ally or support kind of thing. And so that's I think it's so important to really support rather than what's the word I'm looking for?
Rather than try to control them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I keep going back to the ship versus the captain thing. I just love that imagery so much.
Mm-hmm.
To be that vessel for them when they're the one in control, I think that's just something that's going to stick with me forever. I know that much.
No, I think exactly what you're saying. You just keep at this. Your skills are going to develop. We're developing tons of skills every Friday. And as you coach people, one thing I'd like to offer you guys is, if you would ever like to shadow me, I do Wednesdays and Thursdays. I work 9 to 5 and I crank it, right? I've got probably 25 people I talk to per day. And I offered this up to Sam last week. And I said, did you know that I offer, you can shadow me? We can do a Zoom. You and I will be on Zoom, and I'll be on the phone. And you'll just listen to me talk to the clients. I say, hey, do you mind? I'm training a new coach, and I would love, they're just shadowing me today. So they're just going to listen on a call. Are you okay with that? Yeah. And then I'll bring you on. And Martin and I do this all the time. And so you can just listen to me, kind of the rhythm, and you'll realize that people don't answer my calls, and people don't do their homework. And I mean, it's just the way it goes. And so go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, I just want to kind of add something to what you and Grace were talking about. And I had a couple clients too, that I just kept on calling, and they weren't going to answer the phone, or they weren't in a position where they felt they wanted to answer the phone. But I kept on calling, and eventually picked it up, and they got re-engaged. And what's tough to learn when we're new is we're calling them, they're not answering. So our mindset is, it's about us. What am I doing? Why aren't they picking up my call? It's not about us. It's about them. We just keep touching them. Yeah. Just keep touching them. Just leave a message, give them contact, keep touching them. And eventually they will, something will change in their life. And they'll go, wow, this person never left me. He's here. Maybe I can reach out.
Yep.
Maybe I can reach out to that person.
This program is going to grow you up emotionally if you stick at it. And your relationships are going to change, and they're going to get better, because you're going to learn how to really be not attached to the outcomes. You're going to learn not to manipulate and control people, and it's just part of the skill sets that you're going to develop, and it's going to affect all of your relationships. So you guys have my email, teamblanchette@gmail.com. And if you want to do a shadow, just let me know, and we'll set it up. You can take a couple hours out of your day and shadow me. I know Betsy and I have done this a number of times, so I totally make that available to you. We've got about 6 minutes till we're done. Does anybody have any clarification or maybe another quick question?
I do.
Yeah. Hold on, Grayson. Nicole's got something. I'm going to give her something.
Well, I don't want to impose. I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but my question is more about, and I can maybe do it offline with you after. It's a little off topic. It's about the get response.
Oh, okay. Let's take that. Yeah, let's take that off topic. Go ahead, Grayson.
My question was just the health assessment. Is that on the our branded I Choose Optimal Health page?
It is. It's actually really great. It's in the middle at the very bottom.
Cool, because we were talking about, I wrote down all the things for the follow-up email, all the contents of it, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm not putting on the health assessment in the email if it's going to be on the website. Or I guess.
Yeah. No, I would pull it out. You could either say, hey, when you go to this site, in the middle of the bottom is that health assessment. But I tend to copy and paste the link into it to make it simple.
To like pop it out there?
Yeah. Just here's the health assessment link and then tell a little story. I remember when I first took it. Create that interest.
Yeah.
That seems to work for me. This particular session, see what you're doing is you're giving them a little bit of information. You're then having them take the health assessment so they get a current reality. And then you're showing them somebody that's actually had good success. So do you see structural tension in that email? Current reality and what's possible and how to get there. It's all in that email. And I think that's why it works. Structural tension works. Now, you're not telling them structural tension, but they're seeing it. It's working. And so that's why I have that email. And that email, here's what happens, and this will happen. They'll take that health assessment and they'll write you back and they'll say, oh my goodness, I'm a 4. I had no idea. Man, I need help. When can we talk again? I'm telling you, this will happen it will happen all the time. They can't believe that things are as bad as they are because they are just normal.
Yeah.
So awesome, guys. This has been a great meeting today. I look forward to hearing how your connections process. I'll probably put a few tags out on Facebook and ask people, how their recording themselves is going. When you listen to yourself back, you will have a mirror and you will hear the inconsistencies in your tone because you can't hear yourself, but you can see it in other people. Well, when you record yourself, you'll be able to see it in yourself. Trust me on this. And so record it, listen to it, record it, listen to it.
I want to add something to that. When you guys were talking about recording it, there's 2 stories that came to mind. And one was Toy Story. And Tom Hanks was talking about the process that he was going through with the producer, Little Howie from American Graffiti. Mm-hmm. He had to say one word, one phrase, 35 times until he got the right inflection that the producer was looking for. And how could you say one phrase, and it was like a 3-word phrase, 35 different ways until it finally found the right one that made it for the producer. And it was be happy, be sad, be excited, and I'm like, I don't have any more of a phrase. I ran out at 20 and you want another 15. Well, find a way to say it that it's attractive and be excited.
Yeah. And you'll get it. You'll get better at this. So I'm going to thank you all for joining me today. I hope this has been super helpful.